Good morning and welcome to the Core Connection. I'm Mira Rubin here with you on Enlightened World Network. And today's topic is befriending the body. So often we have an oppositional relationship to our body, seeing it as something other. And what we're going to talk about today is what difference it can make to create a deeper connection with our bodies as an expression of ourselves in order to come to a new experience of wholeness. And we get to tap into the wisdom of the body and maybe get a new perspective. So before we get started, though, let's take a minute or two to get present. Let's take a deep breath in through your nose and hold it. And imagine clean, crisp oxygen flooding your lungs, flowing into your bloodstream, nourishing all your cells, all your organs, bringing vital life energy to your body and your being. And as you exhale any tension, stress, negativity, fatigue. And now let's take another deep breath in through your nose and hold it. This time, imagine brilliant, bright light lighting you up from the inside out, electrifying, illuminating, energizing all your cells, all your electrons and your molecules, lighting you up from the inside out. And as you exhale any remaining tension, stress, negativity, fatigue. And now let's just gently press our palms together, very, very softly. Let's feel that tingling, that tickling, that soft sensation of one hand moving across the other, and allow that sensation to bring you present right here, right now, into this beautiful body that you are currently living life through. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, Rosalind. So good to have you here. Welcome to everybody who's joining us. We're talking today about befriending the body. So many of us have experiences or have experienced having the body be something other, like we're fighting with our bodies, right? We're trying to whip them into shape. We're trying to make them be a certain weight. We're challenged by aches and pains and our body's acting up and getting sick. And when the body gets sick, then we get to treat it with whatever treatments we're treating it with. And I'm wondering if today we might invite ourselves to have another experience of the body as an ally, that we're not separate from it. We may have the experience of inhabiting it. We may have an experience, and I think a lot of people do, of being in opposition to it, I hate my body kind of attitude, and all kinds of judgment about the body and its appearance and its capabilities. And I wonder what would shift if we were to be able to move into a relationship with the body as a beloved ally, where our body can be a profound and wise teacher. Our bodies record everything we've ever experienced. And you've all heard the phrase, I'm sure, body memory. And our body's like a biocomputer. It records the events of our lives, the traumas of our lives, the joys of our lives. It is our interface with the world. It's what gives us the capacity to experience our human experience. The consciousness is residing within this or is integrated with this physical expression. And the magnificence, the magic of our senses, to be able to see, to hear, to taste, to smell, to touch, to feel temperature and sensation, all our nerve endings, all our senses, and it's this remarkable record of our lives and all this chemistry that happens, and we often feel at the effect of it when we experience illness. You know, we're trying to fix the body all the time, in one way or another, you know, whether it's through exercise, although sometimes, I mean, from a maybe healthier vantage point, exercise is something that we can enjoy to feed the body versus to try and muscle it into a certain form because we're not liking it. You know, I guess exercise can be viewed from, as with anything else, multiple vantage points, right? We could be really enjoying the physicalness of it and connecting with the way that physicalness is relating in our body, the way our body is interacting with that, the way our body is enjoying that. Like the body does kind of have a life of its own, and we get to find a new relationship. I think that there aren't that many people that have a really healthy relationship to their bodies. I know for myself that I've gone through many evolutions of my relationship, or many phases of my relationship with my body. I think for years I hated my body, and I had challenges from the time I was a kid with breathing and allergies and all kinds of other things, and have had a history of autoimmune kinds of conditions, and so I felt at odds with my body for most of my life, I think. And it's in recent years, thankfully, that I've become more aware of the wisdom that my body holds, and the teacher that it is and can be. And I think that what we're talking about is another level of alignment with self. You know, like we might feel like, oh, I've got too much weight on my body, or I don't have enough, or I, you know, this, that, or the other thing is wrong with my body. And then we judge ourselves as our bodies, and succumb to that kind of judgment by others as well. And I think it's an interesting thing to consciously and deliberately explore the relationship with our bodies. So I know that, like, I've had a lot of digestive issues in the past, and as I said, autoimmune stuff. And I've worked with a lot of clients who have had gut issues and aches and pains. And I can tell you that I'm fascinated by the ways that physical things shift and change in the course of transformational work, and how as we move through transformation, Maggie's having a great time exploring, hiding and exploring under my top shirt here. As you can see, she's such a character. Maggie, no biting, buddy. Okay, thank you. She just looks at me. So, so I think it's really interesting in the course of the work that I do with people. A big part of it is somatic. So, what are you feeling in your body? Where are you feeling that emotion in your body? And this is a really important thing, because what often arises is emotion that had been stored for who knows how long in the body, and these physical things start releasing. I expect you've probably had experiences with massage where a certain point will be activated on your body in the course of a massage that will trigger emotional release. And so our body is a physical repository for all kinds of energy, all kinds of emotional energy and mental energy, and not to mention physical experiences, right? And one of the things I think I've spoken about multiple times is how when we receive an injury, to be present to that injury, whether it's physical or emotional, to be present to it, to allow ourselves to experience the sensation of it. And in the process of that experience, that sensation transmutes and transforms. And a notable, Rosalind says, if there's congestion in the stomach versus the throat or back, what is the body holding on to, and why does it get stuck where it does? That's a question for the ages, Rosalind. But I think one way that we can explore that is, well, first of all, Louise Hay has a book called, I think it's called, it might be Healing Yourself. I'm not certain, but Louise Hay, you can check that out. And she has emotional correlations for all different kinds of physical manifestations of emotion and whatever. But one of the things that I think about is the metaphor. So oftentimes things that occur in the stomach or in the gut is that I can't stomach it. You know, I can't digest that. You know, I think about the words that we use, right? Or the thought of that just makes me nauseous, or I just want to throw up. Or, you know, those are kinds of things that might, that kind of response, that kind of emotional response is something that might be manifesting in the gut, right? Not being able to integrate something, not being able to digest something. And as far as the throat is, I can't swallow that, or that's too much to swallow, or throat often has to do with voice and being able to speak something, or feeling censored, feeling like you've lost your voice, or you can't speak your mind. Good morning, Elaine. It's been a while. So good to have you back. We're talking about the befriending the body as a teacher and as a friend, and having a compassionate and loving relationship with the body, rather than an oppositional relationship where we consider the body to be a thing to dominate and control. You know, that perhaps instead we might enlist it as an ally, and plumb its wisdom. So and also talking about how the body records everything that we've experienced. And so we have this magnificent biocomputer that is a physical record of our experience. It's like our own Rosetta Stone in a way. And we get to learn how to understand it better. I have a client who, whenever she was kind of veering off track, she would, it took us a while to understand what this signal was for her, but there was a pain that she would have in her back. And whenever she was going awry, and we finally learned how to talk to it and to be able to access its wisdom. So Rosalind says, befriending in the form of self-compassion. If your back aches, taking a break and perhaps the pause will redirect if you need to enlist some help. Exactly. So this is the thing, is if your back hurts, there's a message that it is trying to convey to you. It may be that you need more support. That's the obvious thing. And it may be that you can be the person supporting you. Like maybe the message from your back is that that you need to, it could be that you need to back up. I mean, it could be that you get to have your back, or it may be that you're feeling unsupported and you get to explore ways in which you could support yourself better or elicit support from others. It may be an alert to you to say you're treading into a territory that is not going to support you. You get to calibrate by listening. So if your back hurts, the first thing is that it is an alert to you to pay attention and listen. So Elaine says, for me, the body is an information communication system. Exactly. And the more we connect back to our body, the more we can remember how the body communicates with us to heal and to expand our awareness and what it means to be truly in a body and live in the now. Beautifully said, Elaine. Exactly. That the body, our sensations are giving us messages, just like when we put our hand over the stove, a lit burner, for instance, or a hot burner, then we're getting a message that, you know, maybe we don't want to be putting our hand on top of the stove when it's lit, right? You know, there's going to be heat before you get to the point of getting burned, right? You're getting a message, the sensations that we receive. So if we can imagine that all of our sensations are a way of the body speaking with us, then we can start to look for our own Rosetta Stone, our own way to decipher these messages. Good morning, Dennis. So good to have you here with us. So what kinds of ways are you aware that your body speaks to you? I can, and actually, I just became aware that I need to be paying a little bit more attention, like something's going on for me that I need to pay more attention to, because I've fallen a couple times lately, and each time I fell, my ankle twisted. And that was what precipitated the fall. And realizing that, it just reminded me of another time that I fell when my ankle twisted, and it was really bad. I fell into a street, actually, and some people stopped and picked me up and offered to take me to the hospital, and I was on a walk. And actually, the time that I fell, one of the times that I fell recently, I was on a walk as well. Anyway, so the time that the people picked me up out of the street, it's crazy. I declined their generous invitation to take me to the hospital. And what I did was I went and I sat with my twisted ankle, which was pretty badly injured. And I sat, it must have been anywhere from a half hour to an hour, probably a half hour to 45 minutes, sitting really, really, really being present to the sensation in my ankle. And at one point, it got even worse. It got excruciating. But in the process of being present to that, what arose for me is some deep sadness around my dad and who had passed, and this really deep emotion and insight into some of the dynamics of our relationship. And then as I said, the pain became even more excruciating, and then it released. That's been my experience in terms of the intensity of the sensation increasing before it releases. That's been something that is kind of a consistent observation. Anyway, the body had a lot to teach me. I used to twist my ankle a lot as a kid. And so here was a message, and I realized I haven't paid attention to what that message might be currently, given that I've fallen twice in the past couple of weeks. I go through phases where I fall. It's bizarre. Anyway, it's a way to get my attention, and yet it didn't get my attention until this moment for me to be looking at what's up with that. Anyway, the body will talk to us and say, hey, pay attention. Good morning, Lisa. Welcome. So good to have you here with us. We're talking about befriending the body rather than, hating it for the aches and pains we receive or experience, or, judging it for the appearance of it, or our weight, or trying to whip it into shape in one way or another, to dominate and control it. To maybe there's another aspect that we can be exploring where we actually befriend the body and recognize it as our lifelong partner, which indeed it is, and to relate to it with compassionate care. So I know we've spoken before about life as metaphor, and our body is one of the best places to be able to witness that, to be able to witness, oh, I have a pain in the neck, right? Or that person, I'm feeling a pain in the neck, and I happen to be thinking of so and so. Okay, so what is it about this dynamic that creates a pain in the neck, for example? Or any my head feels foggy, so what is it that I'm confused about? Or I know that lungs are supposed to be related to sorrows, so if I'm having trouble breathing, what are the sorrows perhaps that I haven't processed? I'm wondering what kinds of signals you get from your body that that you've been able to decipher. There's a language happening, there's communication happening. So Lisa says, I have many health issues and I let it take over my life for 20 years. It's only in the last year that I've been able to get past that. Congratulations, Lisa. That is huge. Now, instead of thinking what hurts, I celebrate what feels good, even if it's only my big toe. I'm grateful. Lisa, power to you, girlfriend. That's really one of the keys, is instead of seeing like the half empty, we get to look at the half full. Or even if it's like only 1/10 full, we get to notice that it's 1/10 full, right? Even if it's just your big toe, I get you. Having had lots of physical challenges myself. Oh, excuse me. I guess I'm letting go of some energy there. Anyway, I think when we get to embrace our body as a compassionate friend, or compassionately as a friend rather than a foe, then we can see, like we look at all kinds of things that we get to transform and grow beyond or into or through. And our body is also an expression of that. Our body, I think a lot of us that have had health challenges, ongoing kinds of circumstances, our bodies are like an antenna that is receiving all kinds of information. And it may be that we're just, that we have a very sensitive instrument that is picking up all kinds of stuff from our environment. And that's an opportunity. You said it, Lisa. I just was going to use the words that you used. So Lisa says it's all part of my awakening. I was just going to say it's an opportunity to awaken to greater awareness. And Lisa says, I'm going through quite an accession, thankfully. It's been amazing. Every night I hug myself and tell myself I love you. It's crazy how those little tweaks change so much. Lisa, I just did the very same thing this morning, just hugging myself and saying I love you. And it is such a difference, to be able to allow ourselves to be lovable by ourselves, to be loving ourselves and loving our bodies and loving our being as a unified presence. For sure, for sure. So congratulations to you. And isn't it remarkable? Like you said, it's crazy how those little tweaks change so much. It's remarkable how we can transform ourselves. We already know about the transformative power of love. It's amazing how we can transform ourselves in body and being by directing that love to ourselves as well. To compassionately love, accept, and adore ourselves, and then we know we're loved, and that changes everything, and it changes our physicality too. And speaking about that, I'm reminded of the work that Dr. Joe Dispenza is doing, where through consciousness, people are transforming all kinds of physical manifestations, where people are reversing or disappearing all kinds of conditions like cancer and MS and Parkinson's and paralysis and pain and all kinds of things that are supposedly incurable or irreversible. It's remarkable. So there is a level of interplay between consciousness and physicality that is way beyond what we currently accept as popular, as commonly understood knowledge, right? We have recognized that there are these anomalies, but these anomalies are happening more and more as our consciousness shifts more and more. And I believe that a big part of how that those physical manifestations shift is through a full presence of love and acceptance and transcendence of maybe the identities of illness as well, the identities of physical struggle. um, and and clearing whatever those energetic patterns are that hold those physical manifestations in place. So if you're not aware of the work that Joe Dispenza is doing, check it out. He's written a bunch of awesome books. One of them is called You Are the Placebo, and another one is Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Because the notion is that we have all these ideas about who we are, and those ideas about who we are keep us locked in the patterns that are the physical, mental, emotional, energetic patterns that are limiting us, whether it's through disease or through behaviors, but that it's our consciousness ultimately that is dictating the confines of our, or the parameters of our experience. So we know these things. But anyway, the invitation today is to make friends with your body, like to recognize it as a beloved partner. What if we treated our bodies as our beloved, and nurtured it, or nurtured them, and gave them appreciation and compassion? It might radically shift our experience. And so with that, another morning of musings with you. Thank you so much for being here and participating and supporting these morning conversations. Lisa says, if you continue to give life to the negative, you will experience negativity. Absolutely. Manifesting is wonderful, but watch, because you can easily manifest negative things. It's true. Whatever we're putting our attention to is what we're manifesting. That's why worry is manifesting negative futures. So be putting your attention on what you desire rather than what you don't. And with that, I'm Mira Rubin. This is the Core Connection, and I go live each weekday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern here on the Enlightened World Network Facebook page. Please check out the other awesome programming on all the other Enlightened World Network properties, EWN, One with the Earth, and Enlightened World Living. And Dennis says Dankeschön. I never knew that was how it was spelled. Thank you for that, Dennis. And lots and lots and lots of love to you, and love your body today and every day. Till next time, so much love.